You are live. Check 1 2. Test 1 2. Oh. Okay. Nicole, could you hear me? I believe we are rocking and rolling. We will give it a few to see who joins. Hey y'all. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments. Nicole, are you here? So we're good. Oh, okay. Nicole just confirmed we are good with the audio. See, the last time when I did this a week ago, I just used the Max external mic, and we have a 9-month-old baby who was making a lot of background noise. If anyone is out there, let me know in the comments where you are joining us from. I'll just give it a few. I do know this takes a little bit to get rolling here. There's our first comment. NEM. Long time no see. I gotta review these notes. I have my live stream notes to talk about today. I didn't even review them. I wrote these out a couple days ago. Anyway, as we begin our journey tonight on a Sunday night live stream, just want to say once again, welcome all to who are joining us. Trying to do this more so on the weekly basis, definitely the bi-weekly if it doesn't happen. But like I said, feel free to say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, if there's any other YouTubers out there who kind of have their own channel and do what I do and make videos, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to get started if no one has a lot to say tonight. That's fine. Retro Realm Ambiance. Hey, Nick. What's going on? What is going on? Got my Veranda Blend coffee, Starbucks, in the classic Elvis mug. I'm going to try and not sip that the whole time. All right. So let's begin. Hey, John. I did shave. Yeah, my wife says I look 10 years younger. I do kind of have a baby face, but thanks for noticing. I still kept my sideburns though. But yeah, I shaved. I figured, yeah, one more time. Why not? Thanks. I think I, probably get carded when I'm going out to a bar or something. Yeah. Okay. So let's kick things off. Like I said, anybody else watching, let me know where you're watching from. We could, you can drop that line whenever. Let's talk about the weekly episode recap and behind the scenes. So, what's today? Sunday the 14th. Yesterday, it was last night. Every Saturday, I put out a new video. I'm sure y'all know if you consistently watch my channel. But last night I posted we were at the Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library in the middle of Kansas. It's very much remote. I don't think I would have. No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have gone there just to. I want to go see this library. It's just Kansas is too big of a state and it's too far out there. However, when I was traveling, I started off in Kansas City, Missouri, and my goal was to get down to Wichita, Kansas, because I was filming videos. And I was making my way down, and smack in the middle happened to be the Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library. So I was like, well, my first thing was, is he buried there? Because if he's not, I might pass. If he is buried there, I want to go see it. So anyway, so I show up, and it's actually really cool. Previously, before that, I just toured the Harry S. Truman Presidential Library outside of Kansas City, Missouri. It's in Independence, Missouri. So many people hated on me in the comments because I said, "Yeah, we're in Kansas City," um, but anyway, it's in Independence. So anyway, we were touring that, and then I was like, okay, we'll go tour the Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library. Thanks, John. I liked I like both the Harry S. Truman and the Dwight Eisenhower Presidential Libraries. But anyway, I wanted to tour the Dwight Eisenhower one, and what was different about that was it was really a college campus is what it kind of looked like, and I enjoyed it because his childhood home was there, and I didn't expect to see that. But he, I thought originally the house was moved there, but it wasn't. Where his childhood home is, that is the uh, original location. So they basically built the presidential library around it. And it's like I said, it's like a college campus. You start off in the visitor center, and then you go down. There's a museum. Then you could tour his childhood home. I didn't do that. I just wanted to see the inside. And then at the end, you can go see where him and the former first lady are buried. What's sad too, and I didn't know this. I guess I didn't really know too much about Dwight Eisenhower, other than he was a president and he was a big, in the World War II era. But what I didn't know, they had a kid, a child that died, I think, at like 3 or 4 years old. So, for those of you just joining us, I see more people are coming in now. Say hi in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. Where he's buried, it's him, his wife, and then they have this little like 3, 4 year old child that they have buried with them. I thought that was really sad, but just a beautiful setup. So anyway, if you haven't seen the previous video from yesterday, I hope you will go check it out. Much appreciated. John says, which president site has impressed you the most? Ooh. I'll tell you what. I know which one. Lyndon B. Johnson, believe it or not. The LBJ Presidential Library in Austin, Texas. One, it's kind of on the Longhorns campus, the Texas Longhorns college football team. You could see the stadium from right there. But mainly because it's so different. I made a video on that one a while ago. LBJ. They kind of it has its own Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, literally. Like they have an Elvis jumpsuit in the LBJ library. They have Elvis shirt he wore in a concert in like 1956. They have Prince, like his shirt and guitar. They have Janis Joplin's pants. They have a letter written by Jim Morrison. And this is all in the presidential library of LBJ. Now, I don't know. I told my wife Nicole when we got there, I was like, is this because they don't have uh, a lot to talk about, or what? Because he did a lot, and obviously with the Kennedy stuff, he was, there's just so much that goes with the whole LBJ thing. But there's literally a whole section that's dedicated. It's kind of like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So, Timothy Irby, hi from Monroe, Louisiana. Nicole, didn't we go through Monroe? We stayed in Monroe. Look at that. I knew that sounded familiar. Yes. My wife confirmed we ate at the Cracker Barrel in Monroe, Louisiana, back in July when we were driving from our hometown in Dallas, Texas to Gulf Shores, Alabama. And I was making some pit stops along the way out in the boonies. One of them being, I posted this video about 2 weeks ago. I went and saw the gravesite of the killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. And he was out in the boonies in Louisiana. But long story short, we went through Monroe. And I remember eating at that Cracker Barrel. My 9-month-old daughter loved the mashed potatoes. Yeah, I know, that's kind of funny. What are your plans for future president sites? Thanks, John, for your question. Let me see. I think next, actually, the live stream I did last week, there was a lot of people I was asking for ideas, future video ideas. And I know next year I plan to go to Los Angeles. And 2 people said, not far outside of Los Angeles is Nixon and Reagan. And I actually looked them up, and I don't know if I'll do the Nixon one, but I think President Reagan, I'm going to go tour his presidential library. So we'll see. You know what's funny too? It's not funny, but when we were in Boston, Massachusetts a couple years back, we were planning to tour because JFK's presidential library is up that way, and we were planning to tour it. And I don't know, we were behind schedule and stuff, and traffic in Boston is nuts to drive through. So, long story short, we didn't make it there. But next time I go to Boston, which should be next fall, I think we're going to go back to Massachusetts. I'm going to really try and I'm just going to tour that and be done with it. Speaking of presidential libraries, another thing I want to do when I go back to Boston. John Adams, second president of the United States, John Adams. You could tour his house and see his gravesite. We stopped at the outside of his house. We didn't tour it because we didn't have time. I put us on a crazy schedule. But he's there. I want to go tour the inside of the house and see where him and Abigail Adams are buried. I think you can tour his childhood home too. So should be I have a lot of plans. I even have a lot of plans for this year. I got it's September. Yeah, middle of September. And I have a few more trips to go on before the year is over. All right. Speaking of graves, on my list, like I said, I have my own itinerary here. Just because I could just ramble on for days and not shut up. Famous grave of the week. Okay. Since we cover a lot of famous graves on my channel, on these live streams, I want to do a famous grave of the week. So last week, I remember it was Benjamin Franklin. This week, Lizzie Borden. Does anyone know who Lizzie Borden is or have heard of Lizzie Borden? Let me know in the comments while I sip on my Veranda Blend Starbucks. John says, any more plans for gangster graves? You know what? Okay, John, here you go. Anybody else, let me know about Lizzie Borden in the comments. She's our grave of the week. She's actually up that way too in Massachusetts. Lizzie did not like her dad at all. Anyway, John, if you haven't seen my Lizzie Borden gravesite video, it's in my famous graves playlist. I go visit the house, the Lizzie Borden house, tell the story, go to the courthouse where she was acquitted, and then we end up at her grave. But to answer your question, any more gangster graves? I have 2 that I'm going to be filming in October. I think they're up. Yeah, they're both in Oklahoma. Very old when it comes to gangster. Belle Starr. Do you know who she is? Belle Starr. I like to consider her like the original, if you want to call it that, the original Bonnie Parker. Before there was even Bonnie Parker of Bonnie and Clyde, there was Belle Starr. So she's one that I'm going to film, I think, next month. And another, who's the other? Ma Barker. Most of you, I think, will know who she is if you are into the old gangster Grays, Bonnie Clyde, Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly. Who's another guy I want to get to? He's close to Memphis, like an hour north of Memphis. Jelly Nash, Frank Jelly Nash. I think that's who it is. He's on my list of guys to go see because when I was in Kansas City, I talked about him. I was outside the building there where the whole Kansas City massacre happened back in the day. I think it was in 1933. Frank Jelly Nash, I think who it was. But anyway, he's like in a mausoleum an hour north of Memphis. Memphis. Also, I want to ask because last week when I did this live stream, I lost my train of thought. Last week when I did this live stream, I asked y'all, does anyone have any ideas? It could be true crime, famous graves, a dark history story of some sort. Like I want to go down to Houston to do the Texas killing fields. If anyone has any ideas for filming, let me know. Because last time we did the live stream and I asked that question, I actually got a lot of good answers. That's how I got the Nixon and who's Reagan libraries from. And if not, no ideas, that's fine too. Delaware. Emery, welcome. Delaware, man, we're from Pennsylvania originally, and we lived outside of Philadelphia for a handful of years. So I've been over to Delaware quite a number of times. Dewey Beach. There used to be this thing that I would go to, convention thing. So I would go to Dewey Beach now and then. I was in Delaware. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Any suggestions for future videos? Anybody? Oh, Jeff. Welcome, Jeff. You could do Be Brother and Broken Arrow. True crime. When you say Broken Arrow, do you mean, I know there's Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Is that what you mean? Because I know where Broken Bow is. I don't know if Broken Arrow, I've never heard of Broken Arrow. Brothers in Broken Arrow. If that's a thing, let me know. I only know Broken Bow, but I appreciate you giving some ideas because I do write them down. Especially in like the stuff that I do. I could only guess what people want to see. Oh, okay. Broken Arrow is just outside of Tulsa. I will look that up because I will be driving up that way later this year. I'm actually going back to. I did a video there maybe 3 years ago, something like that. Pitcher, Oklahoma. Abandoned Pitcher, Oklahoma. The most hazardous town in America. And creepy enough, I saw like a YouTube video not that long ago. I think in February of this year, they found like a dead body in the woods in Pitcher, Oklahoma. Some woman. It's kind of creepy, but somebody didn't think she would be found, and I guess there was somebody hunting out there. So I think I'm gonna go back to Pitcher and do another video on that. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate. I'm gonna look that up because, like I said, I will be up that way anyway. I just need to write these down because I will not remember. You said Bieber Bros. Is that like Justin Bieber? It's not spelled the same, but it's pretty close. Bieber Bros. Also, another question I like to ask: has anyone visited any of the places I've filmed before? It could be anything. Oklahoma City, Salem, Massachusetts. Those videos are starting to go. I'm very thankful that I filmed so much in the Salem, Massachusetts area because every fall I tend to get views on those and they kind of just keep going and going. So I will not be in Salem, Massachusetts this year, unfortunately, because we have a baby. But next year I hope to go back. Okay. Jeff, I like your Bonnie and Clyde videos. Thanks, man. I do too. Honestly, my I call it my big Bonnie and Clyde video, the one where I did like Bonnie and Clyde's final day and went to their death site and did like the last whatever day of their life. That is the video that kind of put me down this path of like doing the dark history stuff because before, now keep in mind, I filmed that almost 4 years ago, kind of when I was just starting out. But when I filmed that, I was doing a lot of kind of, mix and match. I did a lot of filming locations back then. I did like travel stuff, travel guides. Then I would do like famous graves, true crime stuff. But anyway, when that one took off, I was like, okay, I think I want to do more of what I like, which is the true crime stuff. And since I live outside of Dallas, I mean, this is where Bonnie and Clyde are from, you know? So it's very easy for me to do videos on them. One of my first videos actually was Bonnie and Clyde Dallas locations. And I made that like 4 years ago. It was an old iPhone, horrible microphone, horrible quality. The wind was whoosh, like nuts. So I said, I'm going to remake this. And I remade it last year. I made it into a 3-part Bonnie and Clyde series. So that's why I put that out again. Oh, for anyone who has seen, and I'm just going to put this out there so y'all know, I'll post a community post about this too. But for anyone who has seen my retracing the steps of the Oklahoma City bomber video, unfortunately, I had to take it down because YouTube, and this, it's been happening like more than often, not just with me, but other YouTubers as well. Even though the video is up for weeks or even a couple months, they like find music in there months later that, originally they had no problem with. And then they're like, boom, we're going to mark this for copyright. And like it stays up on your channel. You just don't make any money from it. And I was like, no, I drove across 2 states to make this video. So I'm not going to make money from it. You know what I mean? So my point of telling you this is I have removed the original Oklahoma City bomber video. I've redone it, re-edited it. I put a new intro in it. I took all the music out and kind of cut it up a little bit. and I'll be posting that new video Tuesday night. So if you get a notification this Tuesday and it says, Oklahoma City Bomber video, and you're like, hey man, I already saw this. Well, now you know why. I had to take it down and re-upload it because YouTube gave me a copyright thing for that stupid creepy music I had in the background. Anyway, so that's coming out this Tuesday. I'm trying to upload more videos, if you couldn't tell. I always did like one on Saturdays, and now I'm trying to do like 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 for the rest of 2025. So this week is a 2-episode week. I do not know. Normally, I would tell you guys what's coming out the following Saturday. I don't know yet. I don't know. Just watch your Eisenhower video. Very good. Thanks again, Jeff. Yeah, I was saying in the beginning of this video, that was a nice campus. Like I said, I think I've toured 6 presidential libraries already. And not that I'm like trying to tour them all. They just they happen to be where I'm going. So I'm like, well, okay. I'll go tour them, do a video on it. But that one was really nice. It was a little difficult to get to just because it was in the middle of Kansas and there's not a lot going on in Kansas. But the way they had it set up in his childhood home there and where he's buried, yeah, it was fun. Oh, before I forget, because I will forget, before we end the video, I'm just going to do it now. I just want to give a shout out to my channel members. You know who you are. I know I saw one of you commented. I don't know if the rest of you are on here or not, but I just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you all for being members. Much appreciated. Yeah, I was surprised last week. So if you didn't join last week's live stream, that was the first one I did in like 3 years. So I had no idea what was going to happen. But I think by the end of it, it had like 70 views. So I was like, oh, okay. That's cool. And then I saw a lot of you watch the replay. The replay went to like almost 300 views. So it's just much appreciated. Applause to y'all. I did decide to put the headset on today because this room is a little echoey. We don't have much on the walls, as you can see. And like I said, I have a 9-month-old baby who was very loud the last time. So I'm glad that y'all could hear me. Any other questions? Anyone? Any comments? I got some video ideas. I wrote down. Got my Elvis Graceland Veranda Blend mug. John, I hope you go watch my Lizzie Borden video if you haven't yet. It's in the Famous Graves playlist. That was a fun one to do. I wish I would have done it a little bit better. I also wish I would have toured the inside of the Lizzie Borden house. The only thing, and I know why I didn't, is because they do not allow you to film at all inside. You could take pictures, but I wanted to like bring my camera in and actually film the tour and then go do the rest of it. So I didn't tour it, but it would have been cool for the video. If anybody else is dropping in, let me know. I will be wrapping this up soon because it's almost 7 here and I don't want to make my wife give our baby girl a bath by herself. I will be in Oklahoma. Hello from Oklahoma. Look at that. RC Metzger. I do enjoy the state of Oklahoma. I love driving through it. I'm an Oklahoma Sooners fan, so I try to go up there a lot. Well, as much as I can anyway. Will Rogers. I'm sure there's a lot of Will Rogers out there. Was he I have to look him up. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Not really. I wrote down the Bieber brothers. Thank you, Jeff, for that one. Shout out to the channel members. I told y'all this Tuesday the Oklahoma City Bomber video is coming out again because I had to take the original down. And I don't know what video is coming out this Saturday. And we discussed the previous video at Dwight D. Eisenhower Presidential Library. And I said the famous grave of the week is Lizzie Borden, which is a cool one, especially this time of year around Halloween. Either way. Y'all, I think I'm going to head on out. Like I said, I started a little bit later than I originally wanted to. But I don't want to make my wife give the baby a bath by herself. So trying to be a good husband and father. He's a museum. Okay. Claremore, Oklahoma. I'll be up in that area too next month, I think. I'll look into that. Thank you, Jeff, for these suggestions. Much appreciated. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for this live stream. I appreciate anyone who's dropped in here. I've seen there's been a lot of people coming in and out, and I know not everyone comments, but for those of you who dropped in or have commented or even not, I just appreciate you coming in and hanging out a little bit this Sunday night. I know the Eagles are on. Yes, the Birds are my team. They're playing the Chiefs. The game's probably over. I hope they won I'm sure it's over by now. Before I started this live stream, I saw they were winning 20-10. So I'm assuming they beat the Chiefs. Go Birds. All right, y'all. That's going to wrap it up for me. I'll see y'all Tuesday night. The new version of the Oklahoma City Bomber video is coming out. Have a good Sunday night. Good work week, everyone. And I'll see you all soon. Take care.